Well, morning. Welcome back to NZ Mopo Outlaw Kustoms. Yeah, foggy morning-ish. All the ditches are all full in. They're going to let them settle for a while and then rotary hide them all up and then level it out again. As you can see, you got the sheep back and friends back in the corner there going tick, 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 tick. And we'll carry on for another day. I'll just go in here and see what's happening. See if anything's done it by itself. Probably not. See if we can get these little bits done for the windscreen that I started doing yesterday, and then yeah, just run out of time. Let's have a look here. So I think what we'll do, because yeah, this is still frozen up, that will move, but I think what we'll do is I'll see if I can get it as far out as possible. We'll give it a clean up and sandblast and whatever else. See how we get on there, and then we'll have another go at freeing it up and see if we can get it to move freely. Because it is pretty. It's pretty ugly there, but maybe with a sandblast and whatever, and we'll see if we can at least clean it up. Because I think this is. I don't know, it's looking hard to tell what's quite going on there. It'd be nice to get that little whatever the plug is, that's when you squeeze that, it's pushing up against the for this piece. So we can get that all freed up and then we'll go from there. I think where did I do with those other screws? I just picked them up, didn't I? Look at these. I'm not sure. I think these may fit in the post to hold that on. I don't know. I'll see. I'll find out what thread they are. We'll give these a clean up because they are coarser than a lot of the other stuff. They look like they're the same thread as what that was, but that wasn't the right thing, if you know what I mean. Because that had a couple of washers and crap behind it to obviously hold it. So I think these are the right things for that. Not 100% sure, because one of them was off that, but I'll clean that up because we'll put something new in here. Because I think these are pretty, might be alright, you know what I mean, but a little bit dubious. But so we can get these cleaned up, find out what the thread is in the posts, and we'll get that cleaned up, and so if we get it freed up, and then we might jump up there and get the other one off. So you'll see if these here will wind in here, because obviously these have got these little slug nut bits and pieces I was talking about yesterday, and at least we can might be get this stuff on, and then at some point I'll pull this rubber spacer out of here and make a paper gasket out of this stuff, so at least it's still not metal against metal, and then it might just lower this down a little bit to make this better. I'll see. I might take the rubber out of that side too, but yeah, if I leave the rubber on that side and put a paper gasket on this side, not that most people will know, because you can't really tell. You can, but you can't, if you know what I mean. So it might just drop this down a little bit and just leave that one up a little bit, and it might just balance out a little bit more. It's only a couple of mil, or I don't know, what are we, 1/16 of an inch sort of type thing. What's quarters? 5 or 6 mil, isn't it? So an eight's about 3 mil. So yeah, it's not quite an eighth of an inch ish. It's close. I don't know what the rubber would be. I haven't got a piece here, but yeah, it would be 2 or 3 mil thick. It'd be probably about an eighth, or a bit less thick. I don't think it would be a 16th. I think it's a bit bigger and a bit thicker than a 16th, but because it's a wee bit like that, but I think it might be slightly thicker because it was the same. Actually, where is that piece? Around here, piece hanging out. So I made it out of that. Yeah, it might be a 16th. Somewhere in that ballpark. So it'll be just enough to drop it down a little bit. It'll give us a little bit of height there. You know, like the paper is nothing thick. You know, that's bugger all compete with that bit of rubber. But it would just be nice to have something in there as a barrier in between. But yeah, we'll see how we get on. But we'll see if we get this shit fitted and working. So we will. Let's see if we can get this out, and yeah, we'll carry on. Well, that's the other thing too. Yesterday I got a phone call about all the bright work, grill shell and headlights and stuff like that. So that should be on its way back too, which is awesome. Good timing. I'm just going to hit this with a wire brush first.
Be very, very quiet. I'm hunting rabbits.
Also, not sure if I showed you this yesterday or not. I don't know if I did or not. We now have the speedo back all rebuilt. Here's what's left of the, these are the guys that rebuilt it, if you are here in New Zealand. And this is what's left of the inside. I haven't even looked at this myself. Yes, apparently they rebuilt this piece. So this must be all the old bits and pieces from that hold the main gears, like all the main numbers and little gears and stuff. So yeah, they must have rebuilt this. It would actually be interesting to have a look inside it to see what they did to repair and strengthen and whatever. But yeah, that's the old broken one, I think. Part of it anyway. So they rebuilt that piece plus the other bits that held it all together. So very interesting. But yeah, it's all back together and working and whatever. The only thing they did do was they re-nickeled the face, the trim around it. And unfortunately we haven't done that with any of ours because we just polished them up and just polished, brass polished them. Or, you know, whatever. But yeah, so that will look a little bit different. But yeah, they've reset it all back to zero, and then it's just obviously just testing on their, what do you want to call it, on their bench and whatever, and they've run about 3 miles up on it. So yeah, just to make sure it does work and whatever, but yeah, she's all good to go, all nice and new, so that's pretty cool. Right, let's see if we can get this thing apart. So, first thing I do, give it a good soak. This. Found a couple of nuts that will fit on the end instead of using this thing. Got a little wing nut piece. So, that's a good soak. I'm assuming if I can get that little plunger out of there, I don't know. I'm assuming if I can get that out of there, I might be able to get this out, but I don't know. Surely it's made to come apart so you can service it, if you know what I mean. decent look down in that hole. Let's see something down in there. Shine a light down in there where we're lazy. See if I can find my little tiny torch. This one. That's nuts of the road. He's off here. Lots of shit down there, I know that. So we get some more crap in here, and maybe it's just the shit that's in that tube is why I can't pull it out. Righty, I'm getting fairly medieval things. I'm actually got this up quite a wee way. I still don't know whether it comes right out or not. I assume it does. So I've got two nuts on there wound all the way up the thread and locked together to take the impact of this, and I'll just another one just gently on the end of it so I can just come along and tap it back, push the plunger back down, I guess you'd call it, and then giving it a couple of decent whacks. And then I've got quite a bit more movement that way, so I assume it probably does come out, if you know what I mean. I don't really know, but I've got it up there probably, I don't know, an eighth of an inch, I guess now. I don't think this would actually go on there now. No. So this won't go in there now. Before I could get it past the thing on it, the most it was up, but I can't now. Definitely can't, which is a good sign. So we'll just keep working at it. I'm assuming it'll either come free or it won't, if you know what I mean, completely. I'd like to be able to get it out so I can at least clean up in there, if you know what I mean, somehow. With a little bit of fine paper or just polish the surface up or something. I did give this another bit of a heat up too. Try and see if I get a bit more out of it. So that little piece will come past. Oh, something new again. Aha! Yes. Awesome. Look at that part, right? I want to get that out. I want to get that out. Oh, at least I know that comes out. We can give that a bloody good clean up. See, it's just going to slide to move it up. Let me look down in there. I knew it must come apart. Sitting under me. Just a matter of persevering. Just a little torch there. I just want to see if there's any of that. So there's just sitting just below that piece. So that will come out if I can get it out. At least then we can free it all up, if you know what I mean. So there's no no spring or anything in there. It's just simple mechanical bit. So that's cool. So how can I get that to go up now? Let's give it a wee bit of an media blast the way down in there. I'll give this a bit of a clean up. This isn't too bad, but you know, we'll just give it a wee clean up. Like, you know, if this was all rotten away, like I could rebuild that now, if you know what I mean. You know, if the other one happened to break off, well, I know what it looks like. Could soon remake it if it needed to. Let's get those nuts off. I think we'll get that out of there eventually. Must have fucking whacked it a couple of times. That's right, I'll clean up. Wasn't trying to do that, but I was trying to cut it as close down here as possible. Cool. Maybe I wanted to hold that one down there. Another one up loose. Sweet. Oh, we'll give that all a bloody good clean up now. We'll keep persevering with that other bit and see if we can get to the other there somehow. We'll check to make sure this is straight, I guess. Okay. I've already run the donut down there. Definitely not damaging the threads. So I've got 2 nuts on that. Anyway. It's cool. Right. Give that a clean. We'll go at this. Come back to you. Right, got a couple of small ideas. So, I've tapped that plunger back in. I've tapped it right down back to the bottom, and it won't go all the way in there. You know what I mean? It's too tall. So I pushed it all the way down in there. Sprayed a heap of fucking CRC and crap in there and blew it out with the air and whatever. Try and clear that, the sidewall, I guess you would call it. Obviously did the same back down through here. So now I've poked it back up with a screwdriver so it's almost flat. I don't know if you can see that in there. So it's almost back up to that level. Now what I'm going to do, I've got a couple of those rubber little firewall bung plugs, the rubber ones. So I'm going to put one of those around the tip of the ear gun and push it in here and see if I can get a reasonable enough seal to air pressure that up. If that doesn't work, I'm going to pump it full of grease and then ram the original plunger back down there and see if the hydraulic pressure is enough to push it up. So we'll try one or two. You know, one will work. If one doesn't work, we'll try the other. So this here, little rubber grommet thing is about perfect for in there. It's kind of close to tight enough, you know what I mean? Hopefully this here might be a bit loose, but okay, that was the rubber seal. We'll try another one. We'll try another one. Yeah, put Anyway, we'll try again. And I'll hold a wee bit of pressure on there. Okay, that's going to try and push out. What can I do there? What can I do there? I need something to put over that so it won't fly out. See if I can come up with a solution, see if that'll work. Otherwise, well, I think we'll just go straight to the push it full of grease and just hydraulic it out with the original bit. Not gonna work? Right, grease. We'll do that somehow. Alright, all good. Soap, maybe. Jam it full of soap. I've got some soap there. A bit more thicker, as they say. I'll clean it off and we'll jam some soap in there. Die, die, die. That's pushing. It's working. I'm waiting for it. Yeah, baby, yeah. Here she comes. Fucking more than one way to skin a cat. Alright. We're up. I think we got it out. Just gonna get out of there now. Gently clamping the device, I think we'll get it. There's enough there to grab a bit. Hopefully without mauling it. Maybe not. Perseverance. Perseverance. Lots of perseverance. Just that easy. Motherfucker! Here's another wee clean. God. Get that out of there. Get back out. Might just have to clamp on it with something a bit more serious. Until we, we can always dress that up. Always dress it up. Sandblast. Another clean on sandblast and see if we can get onto some of these surfaces that might be just holding it back. Right, well, with a bit of a clean up. Obviously when I got this out sandblasted that, I've just run a file over a little bit to try and get rid of some of the marks. I'll do some bit more work on it. I put that in the cordless drill and I used my little file that I cut a piece off the other day and just run over the edges of it, turn it round, run a bit of 80 grit over it, a bit of sandpaper and then a bit of 400 just to clean it up, and now it just drops in there. So that's sweet, so that's not tight and freaking pain in the arse anymore. I was contemplating making a new one, but for all it's going to be VVUs, it'll probably be fine. So I think what I'll do, see how that fits in there. So we might need to give this might give us a quick weed. See if I can put that maybe in the drawer and just give that a wee polish up and clean that up properly. Theory is a doohickey there. So that's the right way. Drop that in there like that. Right. What do we do now? I'll go get the other one off. And then after lunch I might see if I can get some hardware and do a test fit. So I might just set those, I'll clean these up, see if they'll screw into that post too. Because this is kind of the last thing I need to make, if you know what I mean. I'm going to remake that out of brass, I don't know. Which is as easy as steel. We'll see. We'll see. See what sort of arc we need too. For the flat plate there is pretty, not really good enough for that. Oh, fine. That one. Right. So I've sort of half tested this on here. These screws here are too long to go in here, but I will shorten them. And the ones that go through here with the little collar piece on the other side, it's actually, you got it fairly well closed up. There's actually not a lot of thread in there. Probably by the time it actually squeezes up a bit, probably a bit in there, but I'd actually like this piece here with the little tube on it, which I guess you would call it a screw nut, whatever. I'd like that to go through the frame of the window a little bit further. It doesn't come through very far. About to go upstairs, so yeah, I'd like it to come through this hole here a little bit further. It doesn't come very far through. I think it'd be nice if it come through a reasonable distance. So like you had a bit more engagement. We'll just see what we can find. So hopefully I can get these other 2 screws out on the other side that are like this, so I can use them in here, because the thread in here doesn't matter as long as it's about the right size and these bits fit in here. If I have to, I might open up these holes a touch just to get that nut thing through if I have to. But yeah, and this does lock. It's a bit hard to test like this, but because that screw's not in there far enough, but it will, if I just push on that, like that is locked, and if I back it off, now we can move it again. So it's a bit awkward, I don't want to break this off, so I don't want to put too much pressure on it, but it is working, so that's cool. That's good. So yeah, all we're really going to do is make this piece come up to here to put the little sun visor piece on it, if it needs it. I'll have to have a look. But yeah, so we're getting one step closer all the time. This is a bit of mucking around. This is sort of like a piece to, that I possibly could have done earlier on, but I just didn't really know quite what I was going to do there. But I just thought, well, at the end of the day, they are sort of the same as what everything else looks to be. Did on photos, so I thought I might as well take them off, see if we can free them up, use them, and worst comes to worst, we just remake this piece. I can keep these pieces on here in the meantime until we get the proper thing made up, and we'll just paint them black. It looks like, well, it's hard to say, but it looks like they were either black or nickeled, so we'll just paint them black. Yeah, because everything else has been nickeled now, so I think we've got a rubber coming for here, a test piece too. So yeah, we're starting to get a few bits to come together, which is good. Just really need the wheels now, and try and sort that drive shaft. And we can probably be on his feet fairly shortly. As long as we can get a decent couple of days at it and actually get some progress instead of mucking around with bits and pieces like this. If we're just bolting a lot of stuff on and a bit of cleanup, we'll get a bit of progress. It doesn't take too long to bolt a fender on. A little bit mucking around with the the rubber in between and stuff like that. But yeah, by the time we do all that, it won't be too bad. Right, so we got the other one off. Didn't film much up there because I was talking to people. Yeah, so I got all the other bits off, all the nuts, and managed to get most of the screws. We're gonna get a couple of these. If we can't find them, we're gonna just get a couple made. And also, we just made a pattern of this, and he's taken the other one off the other side that I got off the other side. And we're going to pattern made up to about this long here somewhere, give or take. We had a piece of cardboard on there with a pencil on it and run it out with the windscreen, and then did the same with this to get a rough pattern. And yeah, we're going to get a couple of these new ones of these made, and then I'll do the last, drill the holes in for, make a sun visor up and whatever, to be on it. So yeah, sun visor's got 3 holes in it, so you can drop it down if you want to. Obviously to block sun out, whatever. So that's cool. Another piece on the way, I guess. And a bit of a funny story. So I thought all the nickel bright work was all done. No. The handles that I packaged up and sent up, the inners and the outers and all that sort of stuff, that we didn't send up with the original stuff because we didn't have them. We were waiting on them to be made, and then I made an inner one. We sent all that stuff up, done all that stuff, but they forgot about the grille surrounds and the headlights and all that sort of stuff, so that'll be being done, I guess, now. So yeah, that was a bit of a faux pas, but anyway, not a problem. Just means we have to wait a wee bit longer. But yeah, so since I can't run away just yet, because Mrs. got the car out, or so we'll get this one started freed up anyway, so we'll get it. I might wheel it and sandblast it, and then we'll heat it up so I can get rid of some of the crud and shit out of it, and see if we can get it out, and get the wee plunger out at some point over the afternoon. Well, we've been fighting with this for a while. That's a good fun. But we'll get it. We'll just keep persevering. Well, that used to be straightened it a couple of times. Just like having it on there and just beating on it, just wailing on it, and then hitting the nuts on the end, try and drive it back and push the thing down. I think I've got just a little squeaking movement, I think, but I'm not 100% sure. So I just gave it another bloody great cook up. Like, it was hot enough that it was actually burning the grease and the oil out of in here. Oh, now it's just cooled down a little bit, so I'm just going to really drain the crap out of this until Rachel comes and picks me up so we can have some lunch. And we'll let it soak, and hopefully when I come back it might start loosening up, because I've even clamped a pair of vice grips on the shaft without the thread to try and break it free that way, and haven't been much luck either. Another wee play with this other small pier. Just see if we can get it to even the shaft to wriggle. Backwards and forwards maybe. Yeah, got a little bit of movement there. It's moving, so, but yeah, not very far. It'll come. Perseverance. Perseverance. Back in the scene of the voice. I was just trying to let that shit soak in there for a while. Okay. Oh. Yes. It's actually got some movement now, which is good. More than we had earlier on. I think I've heated it up twice, like really quite hot. Trying to get it to break free. And it's slowly getting somewhere. I think we'll just let that soak for a bit longer. Over lunch, I think. And another go later on. Very stubborn. But it's amazing what you can do if you just persevere. Right, we'll catch you after lunch sometime. Back after lunch, we'll have a bit more of a go at this. So we can get it apart before we go. Well, we got that bit out. So now we need to get that other piece out of there, like we did last time. So I'll punch it down as far as I can. We'll give it a nice, actually I'll sandblast up there first. Punch it down as far as I can, sandblast down through there. Try and get it as cleaned up as possible. And then we'll try and push that up as much as we can through the bottom. And then we'll jam it full of soap and push it out. And I'll clean up that so I can use it to hydraulic it. Dumb. I put the phone right in front of this piece, and zoomed her in nicely, and I thought I pushed the go button. No. Would look really cool too. Oh well. Alrighty guys, so welcome back again to the NZ Motor Customs. Another day, might be another half day today, just because again Rachel's got to go check on, see what's happening with her boy at the hospital, and I can't go there, and young fella can't go there, so I have to look after him until it'll be a wee bit like this, and until we sort of get a handle on it and see what's going on, see what the progress is, see if they're trying to see if they can get him walking again, work on all those sorts of things, but yeah, I don't know, it's going to be a long road, I think. But anyway, I got these all apart and cleaned up and back together yesterday. So yeah, I've stripped them all apart and got them back together about this far. So we've taken, I haven't talked to the owner yet this morning, but so we took the other one, a piece of that away with a rough pattern. We're going to have to get find some bolts or screws or something to fill in these gaps, because that's the wrong thing. I might better go up there and have another hunt. I might throw a broom up there and just have a wee sweep around underneath that car, and then just sift through the shit, because I did drop a couple of bits and pieces up there, and it's just freaking hard to find because there's so much crap on the floor, dust and dirt and shit. And so I might have to do that and just see if I can maybe find some of the other bits and pieces that I've dropped. We are going to have to get some bits made anyway, or find some screws and hardware that will do, because there was some stuff missing and some stuff broken. But yeah, I've got these cleaned up to this point anyway, so we'll have to do some finishing work and get them painted. But I think I might just leave these alone at the moment, except for going up there and having another look at some hardware. We know that they work, and we will clean them up and paint them and whatever, but I think we'll wait until we get these bits back, and then we can double check everything works properly, and then we'll go through and do finishing work. Yeah, it's a minor, I wouldn't say it's a minor thing, but it's a minor-ish thing, until we get all the pieces together again and see if we need anything else, I guess, because we're going to get one of these made, I think, and yeah, try and get some screws, and then obviously these made. I think we're going to try and see if we can, the guy that's 3D scanned and printed, or he's done a couple bits and pieces for us. We think we're going to try and get him to make these, or maybe repair these, the original ones. We'll just see what's going on. I don't know, I haven't talked to the owner yet, so he'll better tell me more, because he dropped that stuff off yesterday when he went into town to get some bits and pieces, and see how he got on with maybe these screws. He might have to get them to make some of them too, or we can make some, whatever. Just pain the butt of brass because they are a bit prone to being screwed up easy, but as long as you don't go stupid, they're fine. Those ones lasted 100 years, so. But I think what I might start doing is maybe start piecing some of this back part together. Put the fuel tank in, that sort of stuff. Which I might load the diff head in. See, yeah, I might load the diff head in and start with that. Put the axles back in, and I can button that stuff up. I've got this other seal for the side. Put the diff cover on, and put the fuel tank in, and put the rear valance piece on. That's the other stuff. The only thing I've got to do is, it's one thing I haven't tackled yet. They're like a dome head bolt, but they're slotted, and they got a funny wash around them. Now I need a few. I know I need them for here. There's 2 on each side at the back, so I'm probably gonna have to make something. And I think down here, where these side panels are held on, pieces that go on here between the fenders and here. I know there's a couple of bolts and they screw into down here too, I think. And this front section, on the front valance and bits and pieces. And if we look over here, yeah, down through those holes there, and then they catch those back holes. I've got to touch up a bit of paint there, but it's hidden. It chipped away when we had it mucking around with stuff, but yeah, holds those down and those down, and then the other pieces here over there, those pieces where those hook onto those, and a couple other spots. There's like, yeah, these little, look like a coach bolt, I guess, but they're slotted. They haven't got the square in the bottom. And then they got a funny washer thing underneath them, which I did have a look at up there yesterday. I don't know if I can get one out or not. But yeah, I need to find or make something, or so yeah, there would be, I don't know if they're that sort of size, they might be smaller than that. But I might be able to make them out of some coach bolts. And then you really need to be smaller than that, you know what I mean? That would go down through there and then a slot in it, and got like a washer thing that sits underneath. So I need to make them and paint them too. I just realised something I've keep forgetting about. So yeah, I think when we paint this stuff, we might better paint those other pieces, as long as it doesn't take too long, if you know what I mean. Because that rear valance is held on with some bolts that go on up here, I think it is. Is it there? Somewhere in there. Held on there, but they're also held on with those 2 bolts that hold it actually down onto that. It stops it from rattling around. So yeah, I might at least might do the diff, put the fuel tank in and whatever. At least that's some of that stuff's in. And then we'll have to obviously get some oil for it. But you probably won't fill it for oil until we know whether we're going to have to take that piece off. Yeah, that's the fucking thing. I need to get that drive shaft sorted. Pain in the ass. I thought he was going to go attack that, but he hasn't done anything with it. Yeah. Alright. We'll see. Because I've kind of finished here until we get a couple more bits and pieces turned back up again. Oh, the only thing I could do is put the carburetor together. No, I actually want to have a clean up before I do that. Because I'd like to, I think I'll probably do it on this bench. Reassemble that on this bench. Because I've got to go through and clean all the stuff. Clean it and find my photos for when I laid it all out. And then start reassembling. So you need to clean this area up. Actually, that's what I might do now. I might go through and, if I fucking straighten up, just put some tools and shit away. Might do that and get myself a bit less disorganised. Oh well, we got a belt. Fits perfect. Got another one here, spare. So yeah, we just got the one of the conveyor people made that for us. Yeah, as I said earlier on, they've made several for Dad, so I just sent them to the same guy, Total Conveyors down here in Southland. But if you ever want a flat belt made, for something, yeah, that's perfect. So all I did to get it on, I just slipped it around past there, wound that down, put it over there and just lift it up. So yeah, all I've got to do is just tighten that up and whatever, and it's spot on. Perfect length, it's still to be on that plane and to be that full tension. This here's going to be, way around here. So, we've got plenty of adjustment if it stretches or whatever. We better stretch, but it probably won't stretch much. Can imagine the stuff stretching much. And we could run it. He said we could run it either side, so yeah, but it's that way, so I'll just put it on. And that one there can fit underneath the front seat as a spare, or underneath the back seat as a spare, if it ever happens to be needed. Got it. So, that's cool. In the meantime, I'll throw it down here somewhere. Or hang it up or something until we get a bit more finished and cleaned up. But yeah, we'll probably have to get some screws made. Yeah, we'd had no luck yesterday trying to find the extra screws and bits and pieces for here. He didn't get a chance to go to that guy yesterday with the bits and pieces, so he ran out of time, unfortunately. But yeah, we might end up having to make these bits, the slides, yet. Not sure, because the brass is apparently freaking really hard to get hold of. So yeah, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm just going to have a clean up, I think, in the meantime. Just sort a heap of tools and shit out, because I'm in a fucking mess here. It's a pain in the ass trying to find anything. So yeah, I think I'll just have basically a sort out of tools, have a quick straighten up and a clean up and a sweep, and yeah, and then we'll carry on. So hopefully it'll take me a couple of hours to probably have a decent sort out, I think, but it's frickin' way it is. But yeah, God, that's why I'd actually love a frickin' decent half rolling cabinet, or something like even a tool tray. I'd bloody love one, because then you can throw all your tools on it as you're working, and you're not don't end up with a lot of shit all over your benches. That's the biggest, I guess, the biggest problem. You just, yeah, I don't know. The better organised you get, eventually, you get to a point where you can have a bit of a system going, but it's hard to get a system going when you just don't have a place for everything, if you know what I mean. And you're trying to work within what you've got, but, it'll come over time. So yeah, we'll carry on. I'll pop that back on at some stage and do that out properly now that we've got that, so it's cool. It's one more piece to the puzzle. Man, can't win. I thought, I'll drag. Finally got the ditches full, and I'll drag the frickin' bin over there to empty. But the frickin' electric fence is fucking right through there. I can't get to it. Well, not without fucking lifting shit over or disconnecting it or fucking around. Pain in the fucking ass. Anyway, it's pretty full. I haven't even put the shit in there I want to put it in there yet. I thought I'll go empty it before I fucking fill it right up. It looks like I'm filling it right up. Sometimes it's frustrating working here. Just, it'd be nice to get rid of some of this crap on the road. I could have had that fucking car in here. Driving me insane. I'd still like to do it, but next week's the fucking end of August.
Welcome to Iron Outlaws. Stay tuned. You're not going to want to miss this.